What up, everyone? So, trying out a new segment on the channel. I said I wanted to broaden things out and try some new shit. And here's one I've been wanting to try for a while, but just never really got around to. And what it's going to be is discussion topics. So usually this channel is all about helping people out and doing reviews and stuff like that. And I'm still going to do all that stuff. That's still all there. But I wanted to do one that's not really for anything. That's just for fun. That's just here to like discuss things. To just get a discussion going. So that's what I want to do. And today's discussion topic, and I have a couple that I'm going to come up with, and you guys can let me know. It's basically just to get the comments going. I thought about putting this in the community page, but I thought it might be hard to do that, so it's just a discussion to get your guys' thoughts and opinions. I want to share some thoughts and opinions on things, and just get a little talk going, to get more interaction going, because that's one of the reasons why I started the channel. One, to help people out, but two, just to talk about stuff. Just to talk about things like in the nerd and geek culture, pop culture stuff. So that's what I wanted to do. And today's discussion topic is love-hate movies. And what that is, and a lot of the topics I have are about movies, because I very rarely get to touch on that subject, because it's all collectibles. What a love-hate movie is, and for me, is a movie you can't really get a solid opinion on. A movie that's a good movie that you really liked, but got ruined because of one aspect of it. There was one thing about the movie that ruined the rest of the movie. And for me, I've always thought, it's always a shame to say, like, you don't like a movie just because of one thing. And it's always such a waste that one little thing ruined an entire movie. So I'm going to give 4 examples that I've just kind of come up with of movies that there are things that I really, really loved about it, but there are also things that I really, really hated about it. And I have a hard time saying, yeah, I totally hate that movie, or yeah, I totally love that movie. So it's things that you both love and hate, and that's the discussion I want to talk about. And I'll give the first example. And this is one that pretty much everyone agrees on. The first movie I want to talk about was X-Men Origins Wolverine. And most people will regard that as a terrible movie, a movie they hated, but, you know, I still really liked that movie because there was a lot about it I loved. And most people can pinpoint why they hated that movie, and it was the ending. In almost all these examples, it's always going to be the ending. It's always a good movie, everything's fine, and then it just has a weird ending. And then it spoils the whole thing. And it's like, well, it's a shame now to just let that whole movie go to waste because there's a lot of good things about it. And things I really loved about that movie, it was pretty much everything up to it. Like the whole backstory of Wolverine was so badass. I loved it. I loved the whole story of it. I loved them going into the whole Weapon X thing. Also, it was the introduction of Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, which was awesome. I thought he did a fantastic job, which eventually led to the Deadpool movie, but that was the start of it. And it also had Gambit in it. That was the only movie iteration of Gambit, and I really liked that Gambit. I liked the actor that played Gambit, and I liked the scene that had Gambit in it. I thought it was really cool. And again, they were going to try and do a Gambit movie with Channing Tatum, which eventually got scrapped, which I'm kind of happy that Channing Tatum wasn't it, but I think they should find that guy again and do a movie with him. I really like that. So I liked those actors, and Deadpool and Gambit are probably 2 of my top 5 favorite characters of all time, plus Wolverine, so I really liked it. I love the whole backstory, and again, the thing that just ruined it was the end. Like, it was so dumb what they did, had nothing to do with any comic book, how they sewed his mouth shut. Honestly, if they had just left him as Ryan Reynolds and just did Deadpool, that would have been the most badass ending ever. That would have been really, really cool, and it would have been an all-around great movie. The other thing that wasn't so great about it was some of the CGI was pretty rough. That I think part of it was because the movie got leaked early, so some things didn't work out well, so the CGI wasn't too great either. So the CGI in the ending kind of ruined the movie, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. It was god-awful. But all the rest of the movie, I still really liked. And it's one of those things where I would still go watch the movie because I liked that other stuff so much. But at the same time, hated the end. And it's this contradiction here of, like, what do you really do with it? Because I wouldn't recommend they remake it because Hugh Jackman's out of the game now, and I wouldn't want them to remake that movie with anyone else. And it would just seem weird anyway. It seems like such a waste. So there's the first example. So now you get an idea of what this discussion topic's about. So I'm going to talk about some other movies too. Same situation. You guys can let me know your thoughts and opinions. So the second movie, love-hate movie, that would be Suicide Squad. And this was pretty disappointing because I had such high hopes for that movie. It looked so good. I was so excited for it. And same situation. There were things that I really still loved about that movie. They did a really good job on. And then things I hated. Same situation, it was mostly the ending. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like that Enchantress ended up being the sorry. TV's doing weird stuff. Hold up. TV's just making random noises. You done? Okay. Fucking, there we go. Sorry. Anyway, so there were things that I loved and things that I hated. And like I said, the ending was pretty much the only thing that I hated about it. I didn't like the Enchantress ended up being the villain. I thought she would have been really cool on the team. And there was a lot of things about it. Like, I didn't like Killer Croc. I thought he was a dickhead. Everything he said was stupid. And it's funny because there's so many things they could have just taken out of the movie. Like, pretty much anything Killer Croc said I thought was stupid. And they could have just pulled that from the movie. But there were things that I really liked about the movie. Like, Will Smith as Deadshot. The first time you get to see Deadshot in a movie, he did a great job. Will Smith's a good actor. I think he's a pretty chill guy. And I like the character Deadshot. I always had. He's like kind of like the DC version of Deadpool, kinda. I know Slade is more accurate too, but same kind of concept. But I really liked him as that. I liked his backstory to it. Same as Wolverine Origins. I loved the backstories. I loved hearing the build-up to it. I thought that was all cool. Same thing with Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. First time we get to see Harley Quinn in a movie. Harley Quinn's one of the most popular, if not the, probably besides like Batman and Superman, one of the most popular DC characters out there. She has such a huge following, and I thought Margot Robbie did a really good job. She's a good actress too, so I liked the both of them. I thought it was really cool. I also love the concept behind it, the whole villain team thing. I thought was really cool too, so I really liked that. And the same thing, like, I'll watch that movie just to watch the first half of it because I like the backstories, I like the build-up of it, I liked a lot of the jokes of it. I still, to this day, think it should have been rated R. I think most people do. I think they held back a little bit, but, you know, it is what it is. And then the other characters, too, I thought were pretty cool. Like, I liked Captain Boomerang. I thought he was pretty badass. And Joker was okay. He wasn't bad by any means, but he wasn't super great. But he had some cool scenes, too, and I liked that backstory, too. So I loved that. I loved all the backstory and build-up. I really liked it, but then the ending just got kind of weird. So I doubt if they ever did a remake of that movie, it's not going to be for another like 5 or 10 years or something like that, which is unfortunate. So this is what I mean, where it's like, it's so unfortunate that so much good stuff got ruined by one weird ending. It's just like the cap to it, but it kind of spoils the rest of it, like a drop of ink in a gallon of water. So it's just very unfortunate to see, but I still loved so much about that movie. The next movie, we'll move on to number 3. Same concept. Around the same time, this is last year, and that was Batman v Superman. Same thing. Loved the concept of it. I loved the comic when they did Batman Superman. I remember when that came out, and I was so excited about it. I thought it was really, really cool. And I loved the concept, and I loved the artwork for that comic. Michael Turner did a lot of that artwork. But yeah, I loved the idea of the movie, and it looked so badass. And then it got kind of ruined by same thing, by the ending. All the build-up of it was pretty cool. I liked that Batman was just gnarly badass, and he was just like murdering people left and right. And a lot of the stuff looked really well in it, and I liked the build-up, and they also introduced Wonder Woman a little bit. And then it got weird when they got to the end, and Batman's about to kill Superman, and they have that whole Martha mother thing. That was stupid. That was so dumb. And then the ending kind of got ruined from there, which, again, they didn't have to do. Like, I've said this before, they could have ended the movie so much better. Same thing, everything could have been exactly the same. Batman's about to kill Superman, and instead of having that stupid Martha conversation, Doomsday could have showed up 5 minutes earlier and then just broke up the fight. There would have been no stupid, awkward thing, and then Doomsday would have started destroying the city. Batman and Superman both would have gone to protect the city instead of fighting each other. Superman would have got killed anyway, Batman would have been happy anyway, all the same things would have played out the same, it just would have taken away that really awkward moment. And the other thing was Doomsday, I thought he looked okay, but the CGI was kind of rough on it, so it was that. So again, not major things, not a lot of things, but it was just the ending and that one scene kind of killed it, but I still liked a lot of the other stuff. I loved the beginning of the movie, where it went back when Superman was destroying the city and they're going through the destruction. I really liked that concept, I liked the idea of it, there was so much I really liked about it, but again, got spoiled by a weird ending. So yeah, so those are ones that all got spoiled by their endings, but still great stuff. Now the last example I give, it was mostly good too. And that one was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 remake of the movie, the Michael Bay version of it, which I really like. Trust me, I'm a huge Turtles fan. Like, there's probably no bigger Turtles fan than I. Even Johnny Tejas claims he is, but he's not. Anyway, I love that movie, but, you know, it really got spoiled due to CGI. It just was not good. It had really bad CGI. And it wasn't the Turtles so much. The Turtles were fine. They looked okay. A lot of it was Splinter. Splinter looked awful. And there was that scene where April O'Neil comes to meet Splinter and they get like really close to each other, and it just looked terrible. Oh, the CGI was so bad. And it was probably due to a budget and time constraints. They just ran out of time and couldn't make it look as nice. And the Turtles, they looked decent. They could have looked a lot better. That's what spoiled it for me. I thought it was an overall good movie, but it was all the CGI stuff killed it. And the other part is, like, when they were kids, it showed the Turtles as kids. Those scenes kind of kill it too. It was just kind of, it looked dumb. The CGI looked really awkward and stuff was just kind of stupid. But other than that, I still loved it. I thought it was a good idea and I liked the concept of it. It was just, it just sucks that CGI has spoiled so many movies, by the way. This list could go on and on and on of movies that were great movies that were murdered by bad CGI. We're just now getting into a point in our civilization where CGI is getting good enough to use it all the time. And there was like a 20-year period where everyone was using it and it all looked like shit. So yeah, I really like the Turtles movie, but the CGI always kills it. Because you go back and watch it, and it's one of those things where you try not to notice it, like you watch it, you try to just ignore it, but it's just right there in your face the whole time, and it totally kills it. So that's it. So those are the 4 that I had listed. So let's get a discussion going. Let's talk about it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about those movies. Do you have a solid opinion about those movies? Do you absolutely love some of them or absolutely hate it? Have you decided? Or do you feel the same way, where you have this constant conflict where you don't want to hate it, you want to like it, but there's just something keeping you from doing it? And also, let's talk, like, what are the solutions to this? Most of them, they can't make a remake because it's been too soon, but if they could, would you even want them to? Like the Wolverine one I said, like, if they could redo that and make it better, but it wouldn't have Hugh Jackman, but they fix stuff, would you prefer that, or would you prefer to just have it be a lost cause and move on with other stuff? Because they did make other Wolverine movies, and the third one was badass. That was like probably one of the best Marvel movies, or not Marvel, but one of the best X-Men movies out there. So it may just be something that it's just seen as a bad thing and left in the past, and we just move on with our lives. Or is it something that they could just easily, cheaply go back and fix? And you know, some of these things, it's almost like, I wish they could just re-edit things. I wish they could do that. I wish that was a thing, where they could just redo movies without remaking the entire thing. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of laws in place where they can't just go do that. I'm sure that's the situation. But I wish there was, just like the X-Men Origins Wolverine. I wish they could go back, touch up some of the CGI, and just reshoot another ending. Like Hugh Jackman looks close enough where I'm sure they could, or just CGI body, and I wish they could do that. Or if it was a thing where it's like video games, where video games get updates all the time. If there's a bug in a video game, they send out an update and it updates it. I wish they could do that with movies. Like the Ninja Turtles one. I wish they could just give us like a little code or something to put in, or reissue the DVD where they get some funding, Kickstarter or some shit like that, where they re-release it with just better CGI. I know they've done that with movies where they remaster them or they remaster the audio. I wish there was a way to do that with CGI. Maybe these files of these movies exist somewhere and they could. And again, I'm sure the laws won't let them do that, but I wish they could. It wouldn't cost that much money. They could re-release it in the theater, change the things that they know people don't like about it, minor stuff, re-release it, and probably make a couple $1 million of profit just doing that. So I often wonder why that's not a thing. Why they can't just touch it up, re-release it, and make a bunch of money. I know they've done that with movies like Star Wars. They re-released those, and they added scenes, which was super easy to do. CGI sucked in that too, by the way. But I wish they could do that, where it's just a re-edit, rehash it, redo things, where now people will like it, and now it's a better staple in history. Which, honestly, I think they should do with Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. I think they should go back, redo those, touch them up, and make them cool. But anyway, this is what I want to do. This is my new topic of things I want to do, and I have a lot of other topics in mind. So let me know what you guys think about it. Let's talk about it in the comments, and you guys know I read all the comments, so feel free to say whatever you like, and let's just get a discussion going. And if you guys like it, we'll keep it up, and we'll keep doing this, and just keep the discussion going. If not, no worries, we'll scrap the idea. So anyway, one of the many ideas I've had of new things to bring to the channel, because at the end of the day, I still do unboxings, but, you know, let's face it, the boxes have gotten a little generic. The monthly subscription boxes are getting kind of boring these days, so I want to keep the channel alive with new stuff, and I'll still do individual collectible reviews, but there's just so much more to touch on out there, and I want to get to it. So let me know what you guys think about it, and again, let's talk about it in the comments. So thank you all for listening to me talk. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have opinions of your own. And let's hear it in the comments, like, if you have movies that I didn't list off, let's hear it. Let's hear your love-hate movies, and let's hear why you feel that way. Anyway, in the meantime, this has been The Beardy Nerd. This has been Love-Hate Movies Discussion Topics. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Peace.